So the reason I'm doing this is it's something that has consistently bothered me, is how misleading these patch note photos are. Riot puts these out to try to do a quick summary for anyone who doesn't want to read the patch notes, which is majority of the player base. But they say things like, this got buffed, these guys just got updated, these got nerfed. That's not the case. These guys got a straight buff. You can't even say it's an update. This, I don't think got buffed. I think this got nerfed. And these were not nerfs in the way that you think. They got buffed all across the board except for their passive/actives. So the reason that I'm doing this is to kind of set the record straight. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible so that way we're not sitting around here and you can get back to your games. Anyone that I don't cover, by the way, are just because they're bug fixes. I'm not going to waste your time with that. Ivern, root collar cooldown increased. I don't know why they nerfed Ivern. He only just got a buff last patch, and he really needed it. I don't think I've ever seen Ivern dominate. Malphite, his armor scaling on his abilities is reduced. Just keep building full AP Malphite unless you're up against a full AD team. Sivir got more mana. Talia's a bit slower now. Varus can use his Q a bit more often. This is one of those misleading things. It says that Fiddlesticks has been reaping too many rewards in the new jungle. So he got a nerf that does not affect his jungle clear whatsoever. It adds 1 second at all ranks to his W. But when you wait out the duration of his W, it refunds the cooldown by 60%. So really, you're only adding 40% of a second to this ability when you're using it in the jungle. What this actually affects is his team fighting chance, because it's less likely he'll be able to get more than one of these off in a team fight, and you're never going to wait out the full duration anyway because you have to dodge skill shots or get CC'd. Nora got a good buff. It affects his Mega Nar's Boulder Toss mostly. I've always hated the fact that Boulder Toss did the same damage as a Boomerang. Now it does more damage, and the slow is actually significant. His jump as Mega Nar does more damage, and the attack speed he gets when he's not Mega Nar lasts for longer. Nar's just better. Play Nar. Karma got a good shield buff. Master Yi's Q has a longer cooldown at max ranks. Pantheon got a super minuscule nerf. Kiana got a super minuscule buff. Ryze's Q costs a little less mana. Xayah got a good buff. Xayah's E costs less mana and has a lower cooldown, so you'll be using it a lot more often, which is great. It's a good get out of jail free card, as well as a good way of setting up kills. This is the biggest thing that was a misdirection that prompted me to make this video. It says Yasuo and Yonei got updated. Here's the update. Now, instead of doubling their crit chance, they gain 150%, which means that instead of it taking 3 items to get up to max crit, it now takes 2. Reminder, everyone else, it takes 5 items to get to max crit. And then they tried to make it not seem so bad by saying that, oh, we reduced your excess crit conversion, where if you go above 100% crit chance, any additional crit gets converted into AD. They reduced that by 20%, which is not 50% and doesn't really matter. Because beforehand, when you built 3 items, you would gain 120 crit chance. That would put you 20% over, which you can then convert into 10 extra AD. So you get a free longsword for building your 3rd item. Now, when you build a 3rd critical strike item, you're actually put at 150% crit chance, so that extra 50 gets converted, and now you get 2 free longswords. So when you build a 3rd crit item on Yasuo or Yonei, you're actually getting an extra 10 AD always. It does not matter what item it is or how you go about it. More importantly, that 3rd item is no longer needed to hit 100% crit chance. You will be critting with every auto attack and Q at 2 items, which is absurd. Friendly reminder, nobody else gets crit converted into AD when they go above 100% crit chance. And every other character, it takes 5 items. These guys, it only takes 2. That saves roughly 9,000 gold for them. It's a straight buff and a massive one. You should be banning these guys if you are not playing these guys. They are so good right now. You don't need me to tell you that Yasuo is already broken. Yonei, I actually think is worse because he gets 2 escapes. This is one of those items that they said that they buffed, but I see as a straight nerf. I don't know how you can argue that this is a buff. They reduced the cost of it by about 85 gold, which is nice, except for they reduced the damage it gives by so much. They added 5 flat AP, but they reduced the AP that you gain from mana by 1%, which is going to be a lot more than 5. I do not know why they are doing this. This item is already super niche and not super good, except for on a few characters, and now it's even worse. But I hate that they painted it like it was a buff. Cooldown reduction boots are better. You'll probably still never build them. I don't know why they're nerfing Manamune. You only use it on like 3 champions anyway. It's extremely niche, and it's just not that good. Anyway, here's the nerf. It costs 300 extra gold, but more importantly, they reduced your AD gained from mana by 1.5%, which is significant. I don't understand why they did that. It kind of feels like it doesn't gain anything when it transforms now into pure mana. The AD shock percentage for mana is now fixed. It no longer increases. I don't know who this item is supposed to be for now. They said that they're trying to make it more appealing to mages. Why do mages build Mure mana? Mages do not need AD, and more importantly, they're getting less of it from building mana. So I just see this as kind of a garbage item. Runaan's Hurricane took a heavy hit, which makes me very sad. I play a lot of ARAM. You build this item a lot on ARAM. The bolt damage is fixed at 40%. The attack damage completely removed. It no longer gives AD. And it costs about 1,000 gold less. It damn well better. I love this item so much. It's such a meme item, and I love it for that. And now it's even better. Here's the thing that they said that they were going to nerf all burst items. I don't see these as nerfs. The only thing that's really nerfed across all of these items is their passive or active. For example, Hextech Rocket Belt, it's active, does less damage. Prowler's Claw, active, does less damage. You know, the Duskblade Night Stalker passive and the Night Harvester passive, like when you get that extra burst, that was reduced. But all of their base stats have been increased. Hell, in some cases, items such as Prowler's Claw, Trinity Force, and Stridebreaker all doubled their ability haste, which I think is super good considering this is the first item you get. So I actually see that as kind of a win. And items that have actives such as Prowler's Claw or Hextech Rocket Belt, a lot of times people forget when to use those, and you use them more so for the engage or the disengage. The short dash has a higher value than the damage it gives. More importantly though, Hextech Rocket Belt added 100 health to the item and still added 10 AP. Night Harvester as well added 50 health and 10 ability power, so all of your abilities are going to be doing more damage after getting that item. It's just that the passive on that item is reduced a little bit. Also, you'll notice all of these burst items got Ornn buffs. So if you have an Ornn on your team and he upgrades that starting item for you, it's going to be a little bit better, which is great. They just came out with a new Ornn skin. That's what they're trying to push with that. Gore Drinker got a buff that really only affects ARAM players like myself. Everyone knows Gore Drinker is great. You hit champions, you get a lot of health back. If you hit all 5 champions, you get a fat stack of health back. They reduced it. Now it kind of dwindles after the first champion hit. So in Summoner's Rift, you'll probably not notice this as you'll only be up against like 1 or 2 champions at a time. But in ARAM, you're not going to be getting a full heal for hitting all 5 characters anymore. This is massive to me. Grievous Wounds has become one of those things that is now super easy to find and build. So there are 5 items that apply Grievous Wounds. 1 is for bruisers, 1 is for ADCs, 1 for tanks, and 2 for mages. Now, all of those items will apply Grievous Wounds for an extra second. That is crazy. That's so good. You're going to be shutting down anyone who heals. Anyway, that's really all of it. I tried to make this as fast as possible. You guys let me know if I should even bother covering TFT. I don't know how big of a crowd there is for talking about the TFT patch notes, but I wanted to address this because I do not like when Riot portrays these as mild buffs, and it's grossly inaccurate. Anyway, I'll see you when the next patch comes out. So this video came out a lot later than I wanted, but I'm still trying to learn how this whole YouTuber thing works. Hold on, what? 1 subscriber? I haven't uploaded anything. I haven't. Thanks? I don't know who you are or what you want. Hopefully it's this. Anyway, be sure to follow along so that way we can see this number grow together. See ya.